It's Thursday night, so that means we have to take a look at what could happen in this NFL draft for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we got a new wrinkle. We're going to get into it right now on RGR Football. Welcome back, folks. It's Thursday night. Glad to see that there's a bunch of you in here already. I should probably have my glasses around here somewhere. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Every now and then I got to do that. Sucks getting old. It's going to be what it is, though. Want to start tonight. We're going to do the mock draft. We're going to, play it by ear, see what we get, see how it goes with the trades. I've been doing a lot of trade mocks lately as I've been running down a lot of prospects. Getting as much all 22 as I possibly can, and quite frankly, making it up wherever else that I can't. So there's been a lot go into it. We're a little bit earlier tonight just because it's one of these deals that my family life is getting a little bit more twisted. Time is harder to find on Thursday nights, but I want to make sure that we keep doing this. I never really planned this off season to revolve around lives, but I'm glad you guys are here. I am going to take your input as we go through this tonight. And I think that part is actually going to be a lot of fun. I guess I better retweet this out so that everybody knows that we're here. And that's just because I'm trying to delay the inevitable, to tell you the truth, because I really don't want to talk about the fact that Anthony Sherman has decided to pass on extending his career another year, which I actually thought was really going to happen. So it is sad to see that. But he announced earlier, actually, as we were recording the Locked On show, we were literally in the middle of the intro, well, the first segment anyway, when we saw the news pop up. So if you guys want to hear live reaction, hey, check out Locked On Chiefs tomorrow. It'll be up in about an hour or two, and then you can download it from wherever you get. So that said, for Anthony, a bit of the wee beastie today. That's the scotch of the day, I think. So here's to you in a fullback career. Hard to keep up with that. And, in order to make sure that I just am responsible with the drafting here, we're going to partake of the whiskey during this. I just wanted to have that for him. So I see there's super chats going on already. Thank you guys very much. Stevie knows where I'm going. I'll play around and I'll probably record it later tonight after everybody goes to bed. I will do a 7-round mock draft of all fullbacks probably tonight. I'll give you guys a little extra there this week. And there are a couple in here that are viable. I don't think a draft pick is really where you're going to spend it on there, Stevie, but thank you very much. And folks, Stevie's supporting the channel like he always does because he's one of our members. If you want to be a member, that's super easy. Day is also, and I'm glad that you made it today too. I know timing's always a little bit different around where everybody's at. So, hey, I'm glad you made it today as well. There's another member, and the members help support the channel with their fees. They get, all their tiers of the different content that we add just for the members. So if you want to do that, there's a join button down over here somewhere. I don't know. I'll point it out or something. But if you want to support us today too, that's more than likely. Shout us out. Hit the super chats with who you want me to take at every pick. If we can do it right, we'll just do one tonight. But, I said that last week and we ended up doing 2 mock drafts in a single hour. So that's what we'll do. The super chats and super stickers, please, if you do want to support us, I appreciate that very much, just like we always do. Make sure you throw out your want in that particular draft pick, and we'll try to make it happen. So I appreciate the support as always from you guys, and I think this has been a day where I think maybe we can make some adjustments. Julian, thanks for pointing that out. We're going to be interested to see where he falls. Now, again, you guys, every draft board, whether it's I'm still using mock right now. I have used PFF, and I think that their machine works pretty well as well. I like the trade format here, so that's why I'm sticking with it tonight. I've seen several others, including PFN. Shout out to those guys because I think they're doing a good job trying to get their mock simulator up and running. And so I think that there's going to be a number of things that we can do, but we're going to use it today. And Jamin, he's an interesting one. I put him on the cover because he was one of the guys that I watched last week. And I know you guys are screaming for who is it? Is it Kelvin Joseph? Yeah, I'm from Kentucky, Jamin's teammate. And I know you guys are screaming for that. And I'm going to get to it, I promise. I'm in the CBs now, but I've already done Jamin's film from I actually have all 22 for him on a couple of times. So I will have that for Kelvin as well. And I think that he's a mid-round pick. I have him below Jabril. So I think Jabril's going to be a mid-second. I think he's going to be somewhere in the 40s or 50s. I know he's lasting well past that right now. I don't think that's what happens on draft day. I think Jamin's going to be the next tier, but I haven't really decided where I think that's going to be yet. I will definitely let you know, Julian. But I put him on here because he is somebody that stood out to me. As we got in this discussion last week, Chris and I and a number of different people, could we see a sea change? Could we see the Chiefs change their philosophy and what Spags wants to do with the linebackers? And that brought me to something, and you know what? I'm going to have to share my screen in a couple of different ways tonight. But I am going to show you this, and I'll go ahead and spotlight it right now. Oh, we got another super chat, so I want to make sure I highlight that. Najee, thank you very much. I believe Tamorrion Terry will be a steal in the 4th or 5th round. He's a special talent at wideout. He's really intriguing. His 20 film, he looks like he had some buildup to me, but his 19 film was a little bit more sparky, like a little more twitchy. And so I think maybe the 5th is about the right area. And yeah, he may be a steal. He's a guy that I think that can grow into an offense. And he certainly has the physical tools. So I'll be real interested to see what happens. And we'll take a look at him tonight when he falls as well. Let me share this because I want to get back to Jamin and finish my thought on what Julian had brought up before I forget about it, because you guys know that I will eventually. And so here's Matt House. Matt House is the Chiefs linebacker coach. Right now, he's the only linebacker coach. That is a position that they do need to backfill, I think, or at least get another defensive assistant in general. I don't know that it'll be another linebacker coach. But Matt House was a defense coordinator at Kentucky for Jamin's at least freshman year. I wanted to say it was freshman and sophomore. I could be wrong. But so there's a familiarity for Jamin that's built in here. And I find that interesting. He used to call him a puppy back then. And I think that is something worth remembering. And it doesn't mean that you're going to get drafted higher or anything like that. But it means if there's an opportunity and you have a fit, Matt House has probably the best ability to put an evaluation on him of anybody in the NFL. And that includes the scouts. So I think that's going to be important going forward. Najee, thank you very much. We'll get to tomorrow when we get later in the draft. We'll see how it comes out. And Jamin's going to be, I think, somebody that we're going to have an opportunity here as we go through. I'm going to close that. And that brings us to the mock draft machine. Now, let's see. You guys tell me. Day, thank you very much, as always. Another one. I want to know who you're looking for, so let me know. Super chats do get you some treatment there. So what I want to know from you guys, do you want me to leave myself in the screen here, or do you want me to just go like all desktop? Because my desktop doesn't quite like fit. It's annoying, to tell you the truth. Like maybe I can stretch it or make it or whatever. Okay. And maybe it's not even worth the effort. We'll see when we get into the machine. So we're going to pick for the Chiefs, obviously, and we're going to get into this. KC Chiefs, that's an interesting, like that's what I thought at first when I first saw it. Like I was like, oh, could he be screwing around? I don't think he is. So I really did take it as Anthony's decided that he's done. I don't know where that comes from or whatnot, but everybody makes decisions based on what's best for them. And I think that they should. And I think that's what he did in this case. Okay. So I am going to leave myself in. Sorry, you guys have to keep looking at me, but we're going to try and make it as screen real estate friendly as possible so that you guys can see the options. And once we get going, I'll be able to scroll this a little bit more. I have found that that's how it works out. And yeah, Sherm's absence, I think, allows them to get away from a fullback a little bit. I think you could bring in a UDFA. There might still be a fullback on this roster. We'll talk about some of them. In fact, we can take a quick look because I don't know that this site breaks out fullbacks. No, they don't. And for those of you that are like me and really want to see a rekindlance of taking advantage, if teams are going to throw light boxes at you, cram a fullback down their throat. That is clearly my thought. I'm going to do up some make fullbacks great again shirts. MFGG will be the hashtag. So I started using that this afternoon, and I will make some shirts for us as well. Off the top of my list here, I am not seeing anybody. Let's see. There's two guys in particular. There's Mason. I think you guys may have seen him, Ben Mason. They still list him as a running back. He's not. He does catch pretty well. And I don't know if the Wisconsin guy's on here. Stokey, I believe he's a senior and he should be draft eligible. So that'll be interesting too. So there's two names for you. And Stevie, I'm not going to go ahead and do that just yet. So we are going to take a look right now. This is the Chiefs standard setup. So picking at 31 is where it's going to be. Oh, Brian, that's an interesting point. I'm glad you brought that up. Keep that in mind. Eric Schneider, thank you. Another member question or comment anyway. I say trade out of the first, pick up Creed Humphrey earlier in the second. Yes, and that's exactly what I did twice last night. And I do like that concept. Creed's one of the guys that's tops on my list for the interior offensive line. So that is something to look at. So I'm not going to initiate the trade. I'm going to play it like I think the Chiefs are going to play it, and they're not going to go hunting for a draft partner or for a trade partner. I think they're going to let it come to them. I'm going to zoom this out just one. Nope, wrong one. I'm going to zoom this one out just a little bit. There we go. And this one's going to go back in. There we go. Okay, so we're going to just let this start, and we're going to get offers. That's what I'm finding here as I go through, and I just want to see what comes. So here you go. First is the Vikings wanting to get out of 14, and they want us to give him a boatload. That's not even something I will entertain. Next pick, Patriots want to get out of 15 and come back to 31, but they want a few extra picks to do it. Not interested in that in the slightest. And then it comes down through here, and I think, yep, Pittsburgh and the Jags might make an offer as well. That's what I've been seeing here lately. I don't know that that's true. They just signed Roethlisberger this afternoon to an extension. So I don't think they want to get out there. I think they need to get him another prime weapon to go with Claypool and see if they can get Juju back, and we'll see what happens with them. Again, not giving up a third. I'm looking to collect. If you guys saw my Twitter earlier today, I'll probably do a separate video on this, but we're going to keep the same concept. If we're going to trade, we're going to compress this draft. We want to pull up the bottom, get out of the 7th and the 6th, and even the 5th rounds if we can, and maybe fall back a little bit into the 40s, 50s if we need to, in order to compress the whole draft for the Chiefs. So this is interesting. This is about as far back as I want to go at 43, and they're interested in giving a 2nd and a 7th. No, I don't think we're going to do that, but we're not going to close it yet. And for those of you who know this site, you'll see why here in a second. Same thing for the Carolina Panthers. Now here's my concept, and we'll start probably, let's see, who's first. Panthers have the earlier pick, so we're going to start with them. And except I closed the wrong one, so we're going to go in here, and we're going to initiate the trade now, knowing that we want to talk to the Panthers. And we're going to go take a look at them. And okay, we're going to get out of our 31st and go back to their 39th. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But here's the thing. I want as many top 100 picks as I can, and I absolutely want to have as many top 120 picks as I can. So I want to move up from the 136th to the 113th. Just swap fourths. It's not that hard. You see teams do this all the time, and it gets the Chiefs up in a nice chunk of change up higher. Same thing with the 3rd round picks. I didn't think that they were going to go for that. So that's definitely not something that I think is likely to happen in real life unless we were to throw something in like a 7th. And I'm fine with that. If the Chiefs come away with one less draft pick, if it's up in the higher range, I'm perfectly comfortable with that. We'll send this. I don't think they're going to take it, but we're going to send it and see what happens. They should decline it, and we'll know here in a second. They did. Now, this is also an interesting thing is you don't just make one offer. In the NFL, things change. Maybe you switch it to a 5th and take the 7th out. I'm not willing to do that, so I'm not really going to. I'm going to stick with the 7th. But, sometimes you make multiple calls. maybe they lose out on a free agent that they were trying to retain, and that changes something. So you just keep calling until you get closer to an answer that you liked. And maybe it's not going to happen here. I usually find that 3 phone calls, I don't know, like back in the day when you're dating, 3 phone calls is enough. If you don't get the answer you're looking for, time to cut bait. And so we'll do that. And we'll go back and we'll talk to the Niners. Because I really do want to get out of this 31st pick. Now, another team that I did like when I was simulating was the Falcons. The Falcons seemed like they're in a good spot. So if I want to make this offer, I'm going to give them 31. I want 35, clearly. But I need to move up from 94 somewhere. I want to get higher in this draft. So we're definitely going to swap fourths, but I want to get that third as well. I just don't think it's going to happen. Not for them. That's okay, because then I'll come back and I'll say, all right, I'm not going to give you my third. We'll just swap. They still kind of dig that, and that's all right. But if I'm willing to give up the 7th, that should generally help. They have a pick here that we're already swapping with, so that doesn't really help much. But if I want to get to 149, I'll give them 180. So if they accept that, then we're moving on up out of the 5th round. We're doing we're making an offer of 4 picks for 3. And we're going to get out of the bottom of the 5th and the 7th and get an extra pick in the 5th. And that's a place to start. So we're going to send that and see what they take. Now, I'm going to come back to the chat here, see what you guys are. At a 7th, yep, next year. I'm trying not to do the next year thing because I don't think that the simulators, this one in particular, really gives the value that the teams, or I think it overvalues what the teams really value. Falcons took this one. So I don't want to let this run too fast. Okay, so we move back just a couple places, right? And now we're getting another offer. Now, this is 35. There's not much farther that I'm willing to go back. We'll see. I don't want to go back to 51. We're not taking the Washington offer. And quite frankly, I don't want to go back to where the Bears are either. That's even farther. I want to make sure I get the questions here in the chat as well, or the thoughts here. Stevie's been doing a lot of these, and Stevie knows this machine as well, and I think that's important. Jets will do 31 and 94 for 33 and 86. Okay, that's interesting. And that's an interesting way to do it. I just don't think that you get the value. Doug, what do you have? Yeah, hey, I'm glad that you dig it. We're going to do some interesting things as well. Maybe me and Dan are going to record something tomorrow. Might be up this week and might be up next week. We might do something with the whole staff. Or I know Danilo has a couple of ideas. We're going to roll those around and give you guys some alternatives, just the standard straight mock draft like we're doing tonight. Although I'm trying to spice it up with these trades. We'll see if we get what we want. Still have the same needs. And what we saw is Xavier went at 31. We could have had him. And I know that's why Danilo's not in the chat, because he would be losing his mind right now. But again, I'm trying to get value. I'm trying to move up and do what I did and when I showed you guys on Twitter earlier. So we're still looking for value in here. This is the area that we're trying to get to. This is the reason I see this more often. I don't think this actually happens, but for our purposes, it's certainly going to be something that we consider, because he should be in the 20s. Elijah Vera Tucker. It's a lot of chance right now that he's here. Because Xavier went here, he would have been a choice. Ansarike, I think that's a little rich for where he goes. I think he's a 2nd round player, but I do like him quite a bit. In fact, Washington is the film that I have up now. I'm working on their corners, and he's popping out as well, because the interesting thing, he's an opt-out. So when I go back to look at 19 to see progression, and you have to do that when you're scouting players, to see what they were their junior year versus their senior, or their sophomore year versus their junior. Things pop out to you. Newsom's a thinner corner, but I think he could do the trick. I do think that's a little rich for him, but corners get pushed up. That's just the way that it is. And Tony, everybody likes Tony. I don't think I'll be spending a draft pick that early on that position. So, and Naaman, you're right. Naaman, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. AVT is a no-brainer. And that's exactly, I have to double check, but I think that's exactly what I got earlier last night when I posted that picture of it. I do believe that's what I was getting consistently. Sorry, I'm just all tore up about Anthony, so it's throwing me off a little bit, you guys. And yeah, that's what I was getting. And again, not moving back from 35, I think that is a no-brainer. He's a starter, at tackle, at guard, at whatever you want, and we still have options. So if we just take, say we wanted to trade with the Raiders, never happened, right? But they still have 63 and 94, and they moved up to get closer to the top 100 with another pick. And we've gotten the 4th is still there. We still have some options to try to move around, try to bring these draft picks up into the fold. So we're going to see what happens with that. And it looks like we have another trade offer. Pause for some reason. Who's gone off the board? Eichenberg did go. I mean, that's super expected. There's a couple of players still out there. We're going to let this roll a little bit more. And Leatherwood went. Hudson went. So you see the tackles that are coming off. I'm not sure why it just skipped me, because there's no way in the world I would ever take Chesherot in the 2nd round. So we have an issue here. The machine kind of hosed us. We're going to have to fix that and start over. That's not what I was looking to do. So exercise in futility sometimes, right? We're going to keep doing that as we move forward. You guys liked Eichenberg. I like that. Reuben Foster is not, I don't think he'll play in the league again. He has washed himself pretty much all the way out. And I know somebody said something about Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk is a free agent, I believe. He's going to be released. I just don't think it's hit yet. So I think that's going to happen like the first day of the new league year, so the 17th. And we'll see what happens. If they really want a fullback, I'm certainly fine with that. Now, last time we were able to talk to the Falcons. Let's go see if the Falcons want to make some deals again. And we'll pop in there, and we're going to offer them our 31st for their 35th. And we want to go up in the 4th. And quite frankly, I'd like to go up in the 5th as well. They don't like that one as much. That is a pretty steep climb, I will admit that. And let's see if we can get the 7th up to there. Well, I don't mind throwing the 7th in. Take that out. Okay. So, yeah, let's get up to 149 from 176. Let's keep 176 and give them 180 instead. And we'll throw in the 7th. So then we're going to improve, 28 positions here, 30 positions here. That's pretty significant. I think that's fine. I mean, if I could get them to do that and trade 3rd rounders, I would do it. But even giving up a 2nd, 5th round pick isn't going to do that. So we're going to take the 3rd rounders out of it. So we're going to move back in the 1st, just like we did. We're going to send that offer. It should be accepted. And we'll go from there. Okay. Doug asked a good question. Do you think we get Jabril Cox at least 60 through 90? I think that might be pushing it a little bit. 60, yes, but like if you go into the 3rd round, I think somebody might take him before then. That's kind of my concern. So, okay, we did that. We're going to let this roll. Now we know that we've moved out of the 1st, and we did it pre-draft. I don't see that happening in reality, but it is what it is. This is the Jets wanting to move back from 23, but they want both our 2nd round picks. We're not going to do that. That's just kind of ridiculous. Tevin Jenkins goes 24 here. That's kind of high for him, at least from what I'm seeing. Let's see. Lots of offers here. 35, moving back to 43 plus a 5th. Nah, back to 55. Again, San Francisco's a friend there. They want to move around. 44 is about the bottom that I would go, but they're only offering a 5th. So I'm going to pass on that. We can always try again, but look, ABT is there again. So we're right back where we were. We're going to take him, and we are going to just roll on happy as a clam and see what comes in next. Now, Dallas really wants to get out of this pick, but they want us to pay through the nose for it. Let me counteroffer and see what they'll take. So they want us to move up a bunch, and then they want us to move back here and throw in a 4th. Not what I'm looking to do. So what can we get done? Do we move back from 63 to 75? Do you guys want me to try that? And then bring up the bottom, get 115, take 108 out of it. Moving back, moving up. That's not much of a trade-off just to get up to 75. What do you think, Brian Case? What do you think we need O-line? We do. AVT certainly covers and again has that versatility where he can go inside or outside guard or tackle, and I do like that. Haven't watched Trill Williams yet. The Syracuse guys are on my list next after the Washington guys because I can watch Melifonwu and Williams at the same time, so I kind of stack those for the back. Shaun Wade is a nickel guy that I think honestly isn't twitchy enough. I think he was really exposed in the playoffs. I'm not so into him, so he's probably going to be a third-round guy on my board, so I wouldn't go near him. And so that brings us back to here. We're just going to keep rolling forward because I didn't like the offer. They still want to get out of it, and they want a fourth-rounder to do it. No thanks. Good Lord. Okay, so now the Jags want out of 45. That's interesting. We can see what we can do there. They want us to come up to 45 with our 63rd and give them 108. Not interested. See ya. And again, okay, let's get this actually moving. We might have to do 2 of these again, you guys. 55. Okay, so the Steelers want to come back from 55, and they want us to give them 2 picks to do it. They're crazy. That trade would never happen. I don't see the Steelers trading with anybody in the AFC, particularly the Chiefs. So the Packers want to move back 1 spot from 62 to 63. They want to swap us 2 fourths for our 3rd. Let's see what else they got to offer. 63 to 62. They're throwing in 92. So we had to have 92 and 94 back to back. They want 108. Man, that's tempting. That would give the Chiefs 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in the top 100, 5 in the top 120. That's pretty good. I like that concept. Aaron, I don't think that AVT is really going to be there even at 31. So that's why I'm just going to take advantage of it right now and have fun with it. Really interested in this Green Bay thing. So move back 1 and basically move from the 4th into the 3rd again. Let's see if I can get them to throw something else in. Yeah, they'll throw in a 7th. Will they throw in a 6th? See if we can throw in a 6th and get that. Okay. So they moved up. We moved back. Now, if we want to go and protect Patrick, maybe that's what this first draft is going to be here. Because Creed is sitting right here, the guy that we were talking about. We're well past where I think he goes. I do think that he will be somewhere in the 40s or 50s. I don't think he gets to the 60s. But now on the clock, and it looks like I want to check this one more time. Now maybe we'll talk to Dallas, see what they want. So we have 62. That's where we're at right now. Have 92 and 94. And then we get into the 4ths. So let's just do something simple. Let's try to get back up into the top 120. So if we did this with this and this, they're not going to take it. But if we did that, they just might. And quite frankly, we don't need 144 and 149 together, right? That doesn't help us that much. So that's interesting. We know we can come back to Dallas, but I want to see if somebody in here is willing to give something up. Somebody like the Bengals. Let's see what the Bengals think. And so we'll move back. Or do we want to? I don't know. And we want your 111. They are not into that. Even moving back and giving them 9 spots here. Okay, so that's a bad deal. Who else do we have? We already kind of fleeced Atlanta a little bit. So let's keep it tight. Let's look at the Jets. Stevie says the Jets are ready to roll, man. They are ready to wheel and deal. Okay, so we'll move back 4. And I either want 107. I want 86. I'll give you 94. That's interesting. I really do want 86. Maybe if I give him that instead and that to get us another pick in really close to the top 100. That's my goal. We can always send it and see if they'll go for it. I don't, and maybe we'll change it to that. So we got 107, and then we had to wait to 149. That is quite a ways. Let's send it and see what they say. Nope. I could try again just to see. No. Okay. So we're going to make our selection and be happy that we got Creed Humphrey where we're at 62, and we were able to pull the rest up a little bit. And as we go on, we're getting a little bit closer to having more picks in the, like what I call the sweet spot. And that's really what it is. Now the Lions want to get out of their 72nd pick, and they want us to come up from 92. That's interesting. I don't know that I want to go all the way up there. I would take a small step ahead if you're going to give me 112. And I'll even throw in a 6th round pick. Maybe I'll throw in a 5th round pick. Because that would net us another player. That's what I'm looking for, that gap right there. Don't think this is going to work. Yeah, but it did. Okay, so that puts them on the clock. We're running forward, and now we're going to pick at 88. We're going to decline that. So let's take a look at what we have. We have covered in this draft. We're gonna call this the taking care of Pat draft. So Tucker, clearly not really a reliable thing that could happen. But then we got Creed Humphrey. So now we're on the clock at 88, and we start taking a look around. And this is why I waited. Jamin went. We're going to have to go find out when. I'll bet it wasn't terribly long ago. It was not. It was at 77, which is a pick that we probably could have had. We were at 72, so we did elect this time to pass or effectively pass on Jamin. But Jabril Cox is still here. Now, again, that's not really legitimate. Another guy that I like is Tyson Campbell. He went just before the Chiefs were able to pick. So what we're going to take a look at is who's available here. And this isn't necessarily going to reflect on my draft board, but they have a lot of things that are in close places. Keep an eye on Keith Taylor, you guys. He is a Chiefs type corner. Very much reminds me of Javarius Ward. But we're going to take Cox and be happy that he was available. And whoever said that, I can't remember who it was, hit me again in the chat if you were the one who said Jabril Cox every time, because that does seem to be that it's working out. Aaron, thank you for reminding me. Yes, please. If you would smash the thumbs up, that always helps us. And you can always support us by jumping into the store as well. Now, we come back around. Shaun Wade's still on that board, about 10 picks, 8 picks below his list. And that's, again, just this particular one. Now, we didn't get an offer this time, so I'm happy to pick at 94 and call it done. What we have coming up is Chiefs have 94 and 112. I like that pick. So it's mid-4th. It gives you another shot at a guy who might have been 3rd-round quality and dropped a little bit. And then we have some later rounds here. So if I really, really wanted to get up a little bit higher, I could try to do something, say, with the Niners again. Let's try the Niners, see what we can get done, if I can pick the right team. So we want to come out of here is what we want to do. We want to get here to like 102 would be awesome. So I'll give you 2 picks for that. And maybe you come back and you give me a 5th. No. Maybe you give me a lower 5th. No. Okay, so they're looking for a 2-1. So right now, We've got 3 players. This would leave us with 3 picks, but again, would get us everything in the top 120. And that is what I'm really, really digging. We still have 112. So maybe we throw in, no, we don't want to do that. Man, I can't even get a 7th. Are you guys kidding me? All right. Well, we're going to pull the trigger anyway because we're going to do another draft because we're barely halfway. Oh, and it was Doug. Okay. Thank you, Doug. I'm glad. So you got your wish first time around. And there we go. So at 94, who we have on the board, despite making up another shift there, we have some guys that are interesting. Now, what have we done? Let's review real quick. We do have the linebacker, and we have the O-line. Like, that volume of talent is really shored up. I'm really happy with that. Casey wants to go Dabo. I've done like one game of his film, and I'm not that sold on him. At this round, though, you have a fair point. I think I would probably go with Taylor a little bit farther down, knowing that we have 102 coming. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there, is that he fits the mold. He's got the length. I like that. Paulson, nothing wrong with him either. I think they're very close and great. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that we want to accomplish right in this range of who's available now. Now, a lot of people have been talking to me about Cisco, and again, I haven't done the Syracuse film. That's the next one on my list. But he is interesting that way. So why don't we just do this? We'll go, I don't know about Roach, but edge rushers are hard to find. The Chiefs need them. So we're going to grab him right now just to get it out of the way. That's always something difficult. Let's see. And Brian had a question. I know you said Ardarius is off the board. You need to watch him. He's undersized, but plays much bigger than it says. That's true, but that's college. And I'm not that into playing undersized. There is one guy that's smaller that we're going to talk about as we reset here after this one's done. So we've gone through to 102. We have the edge. We have now running back we don't want. Humps is an interesting one. Not sold at him at the next level. So I'm not going to go there. Ardarius is there. Good point. But for me, this comes down to 2 guys. And that is Keith Taylor, who, like I said, is a perfect fit, in my opinion, and Cisco, who I think has potential. So you guys give it in the chat. You guys pick. You want the corner with the length, or you want the good size safety that has a little learning to do, but could get there? Let me know. I'm not seeing it yet. You guys tell me. Keith, okay. Hot and Spicy says, Keith, do I have more votes? Let me know what you guys think. Ayla McNeil, haven't seen. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that the D line is going to be a draft priority. I think they're going to try to do something in free agency, to tell you the truth. Cisco is literally Marcus Peters. Okay, I'm going to line him at safety, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, if he jumps the routes, but he gets blown up, it happens. Okay, Taylor, the safety. There's Andrew with a Hamza vote. Okay. Oh, Stevie is unimpressed with either of them. Okay, Stevie, we're gonna have to do a members one where you explain to me why. All right, I think I'm gonna go with my instinct, and I think most of you guys are agreeing. So we're gonna take Keith Taylor, who I'll probably break down along with his running mate, because I think he's the guy that really intrigues me. And I just came off of his film. I did the first 2 of the Washington All-22 last night before I did the mock draft prepping for this. So, and now we're back again. And we're at 112. We have, 3 picks left, I think it is right now. Let's just double check with. No, this is it. This is it. We have done our job. Man, I'm happy with that. Let's take a look. So we've made 5 selections, and we're at pick 112. This is really, really nice. This is this is GM's dreams right here. We started with 7 picks. We're ending with 6, and they're all in the top 120. So you guys tell me, what do you see here? Because Trill would have been interesting, but we just got Taylor. And so we're good at corner. We have the edge. We have the linebacker, and we doubled up front. So for me, this comes down to 2 positions of need that the Chiefs could look to fill. And first, we're going to check out who's left at tight end because Hunter Long is still there. I didn't think that he would be. I'm a little surprised by that. Now, you guys saw last week, Danilo went through his draft crushes, and Kenny Yeboah is one of them. So keep an eye on that. McKitty's interesting. I think he has, again, upside, but I don't think you're going to have to spend, clearly not this pick. I don't think you're going to have to even spend a fourth-round pick on him. I think he's going to be late day 3, and you can pick him up. I'll tell you this, too. I really like Luke Farrell's game. Farrell, I'm not sure who it is, but he's going to be UDFA. I mean, it might be another situation like Bo Pete was last year, where he's going to be UDFA, but if somebody shows interest, you might jump up there. So I think tight end is going to be okay. I'm not going to make the investment now. We should have a plethora of wide receivers to look at. So let's get in there. And this is going to be, I'm looking for him, you guys. Terry's down there. Now he's ranked really low on this side. I think he goes higher than this, but I'm not sure that he's the best that's available. So I know you guys like him, but let's take a look at who's the best available right here, right now, because we've built this draft so that we can do what we want. We don't have to worry about necessarily if it's value at this point. So let's see. There's Daz. A lot of people like Daz. Anthony is, I want to say he's 6 foot. Okay, he is 6 foot. Now, you've seen me draft him before. He's light. That's the problem. He is skinny. He reminds me of McColl's build, and they're right about the same size. But he's faster than McColl. So enjoy that picture in your head for a minute. That certainly comes around. Then you get to a really small school guy that people seem to dig, and it's just not enough for me. I just can't get behind that kind of size deficiency. So I'm going to hold off on Darden. Let me see. Sorry, super chat. Thank you, Dadu. Appreciate it. If Chuba fell, would you take him? After taking Clyde last year, I wouldn't take a running back. I got to tell you. I mean, maybe Sherman in the 5th or the 6th. Chuba in the 5th or 6th is a decent value. I'm just saying, like, I don't know that I would dedicate a draft resource for running back when they just took Clyde last year. I would be more reticent to go UDFA on them because I think there will be. I mean, Puka Williams is going to be available, you guys. He's going to be a late rounder or UDFA, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's see. So this is the other guy that I wanted to point out to you guys because last weekend I reviewed some Senior Bowl film, and Cade Johnson really stood out. Now, he's not great size either at 5'10". I actually think he's a little bit bigger than that. I think this is a little bit off. I'd have to go and see if I can find the Senior Bowl weigh-ins on purpose, but he plays bigger, and he came up from South Dakota State and showed up a lot of the corners at the Senior Bowl. And so he's just someone to keep an eye on. I'm going to give you guys the call, and we're going to take Terry just because I know you guys love him. So I want you to have a present. Here's under the tree. This one's for you guys. Dedeyu, thank you very much. Where did Tremble end up going? Aaron asked. Let's go to, I'm going to have to figure out how I can find that. Maybe if I just go to tight end and show drafted. Okay, that's not really showing me where he went, though. Okay, not what we're looking for. So this is just going to go through the rest. And I do want to see the summary screen so we can talk about that. Andrew, I agree with you. Clemson receivers. Who's the guy who's going back that I like? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He'll be in next year's class, and he'll be great. Anyone from LSU, huh? Literally anyone, huh? I know there are people that feel like that, where they just have a school that they feel fits what the Chiefs want to do. I'm not so certain anymore. I could have seen that a few before Andy, but I'm just not sure. If you're reaching for a wide receiver, why not trade back and get an extra pick? Only because right now I want to get on to redoing this mock draft, Robert. That's the only reason. Could have done that, but quite frankly, I don't know that you get much value there. But I will say this: the wide receivers in the 4th, 5th, 6th rounds, I think, are going to be high value in the real draft, and certainly in these plays. But I mean, just look at this. We took what was 252 was the last pick, and that's a projected comp pick. We moved all the way up to 112. We worked this whole thing, still had a top 35 pick, and got all this value. And that's what it's about. And I think drafts don't go like this. GMs would, they'd sell their first child for drafts like this to have this number of picks in the top 100 and top 120. But bits and pieces of it. Some of these transactions are things that you can look to do as a legitimate GM. And so I think that that's something we got to keep in mind. I'm not going to save this one. I'm not super happy with it. But I am going to do another one, and we're just going to jump right back in. With those concepts kind of laying down where we're thinking, we'll go. It's Justin. You're absolutely right, Spicy. It's Justin Ross. He decided to go back. Dominic, I think a free agent wide receiver will want to play with Mahomes. Yeah, some will. It's just how much money will they discount it, right? If they end up picking Marvin Williams or someone like that, would you like interior DL with the last pick? I haven't done the DLs yet. Dan's working on them now. And I would have to really like somebody. Generally, D linemen in the third day do not pay off. You saw even Colin Saunders, who was a third round pick, is having trouble, right? The UDFA, Wharton came out of nowhere and has passed him up. Generally, day three guys on the defensive line don't make any impact. So I'm a little reticent to do that. I think you can get your back end roster, your special teams guys, wide receivers, corners, some safeties, some linebackers late, and try to do that then where they can actually contribute on special teams. They're not going to be, on the field on defense, but hey, it can be fun. Doug, cheers to you. Salute. Here's to a Thursday night where I don't have to get out in the snow because here it's snowing pretty bad. Patrick, if a top corner or wide receiver falls in the early 20s in the draft, do you think Veach trades up to snag their guy? I will say this. If one of those top players is one of Veach's top players, then possibly. In general, I don't think that he trades up. No, I think he knows that he has a lot of work to do in terms of volume depth. And so I think that he does have to kind of accomplish that. But if somebody that he has determined, or honestly, the front office as a whole has determined that they like this guy, whether it's wide receiver or corner, if it's somebody like Breland Speaks or somebody like McCole Hardman, guys that they went up and took a little bit high because they like that guy for whatever the reason is, I think you could see that if one of those guys happens to fall. But that's really hard to predict, and I have no idea the specific traits that they're looking for, Patrick. Tyler, thank you very much. Hefe, thank you as well. Okay, so let's get to rolling again and see what we can do right off the bat. And I'm not going to do a ton of trades. I'm not going to initiate trades at all. We're going to go through this and see what we get. If we get an offer, we're going to make the most of it. That's a terrible offer. So we'll counter real quick. And all we're going to do is say, oof, I don't even want to move back to 78. So we're not even going to counter that. We are just going to keep on rolling. And I'm guessing there's going to be more offers here. 24. Nope. Still not going to trade with the Steelers. Tucker just hanging out there. Okay. So Tucker went there. We got a little bit more realistic. And I do think ABT will be gone. So now Patriots are saying come back to 46, which is a little bit outside the range that I'm willing to go. And we'll give you 46 and a fourth and a seventh. No thanks, Bill. Not interested. 51, definitely outside my range. Okay, the Jets want us to come back 3 spots, and they're offering a 5th. Not interested in that, but I will make them move up a bit. I'll take the 5th out of the equation. Now, the Chiefs already have a higher pick in the 2nd, so we're not really going to squeeze them there. But I want that 4th at 107. I'll give you a 7th. I'll even give you a 5th. I'll even give you my comp pick in the 4th if it'll make you budge. But it doesn't look like it's gonna. And I don't think I'm willing. Am I willing to move from 136 to 107? Yeah, but they don't seem to be willing to take it. So, no, we're going to just skip that. And we're going to take the best guy on the board. So it comes down to Rousseau, who I think is a good pass rusher, somebody that Honestly, I think plays a little bit better on the right than on the left, and they're going to need him on the left if he's going to play across from Frank. Now, they could do some flopping, but you never know. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Would you guys hit the like button for me just while you're watching? It'll help more people get into this, and I know this is a weird thing, but it's kind of fun, and if we get people to have some interest, we'll go there. So here's where it gets really interesting. I do want to move back because I want to be able to try to get a pick in the 40s. And without giving up too much here, because I would take Zaven right now, but I know that we won't get anything until 63. And there's a lot of good players in here. Humphrey will be in there. Leatherwood will be in there. Enrique. Russo's just a little, I don't know. It seems a little rich for me. I'm not sure that he can be the guy across from Frank and really hold that up. And Spicy, you're right. Raw is a good way to put it. Has some freak-like tendencies, but I'm not sure there. So let's just see what we can get done and see if one of these guys falls as well. There is Greg Newsome hanging out here. I don't like Stokes as much as I like some of their other corners, but there's several guys in here in the 40s that I think we want to get to. So let's see if we can do something. We are going to go and let's see. It didn't work out with the Jets, but let's see. I think did we trade with the Falcons last time? Maybe we can get that to work again. Okay, we'll go back from 31 to 35. I can even go back from 63 to 68 if I have to. But I'd really rather not. I don't want to go back from 94 to 108, so that doesn't really help. Yeah. I can't get him to do that either. So it's not that realistic, unfortunately. So could I get there from here? No. Okay, so right now that's not really working very well. Not working in our favor. So let's see if we go back a little bit farther. And let's stay in the NFC, actually. Let's go to the Panthers and see what they have. We can go down to 39. 39 doesn't bother me from 31. But maybe we can get up from 94 to 73. And okay, that is a lot to ask. So right now they're willing to move back 8 picks, move us up 20 in the 3rd round. That's significant. But this is the pick that I want. I want to get into that 120 range. So what do we have to give up to do it? Let's see. We have a comp pick here. And we're going to give them that. I'm going to give them a 7th and see if they'll budge off of there. This doesn't really have that much value, but I'm going to try this and see if we can get them to take it. Again, hey, look at that. I didn't even have to make a second call. That's pretty lucky. Okay, so now we're moving back a little bit. We saw Zaven go, unfortunately. I know you guys are going to be sad about that. We saw Zaven go. Aaron Robinson, I think that's a little rich for him, myself. And Russo did go just the pick before here. We could have had them there. But now, again, we're back to what do the Chiefs need to accomplish? We have 0 picks on the board. So we have Leatherwood, tackle. Now, they're really optimistic about the tackles making it back. So I don't know if we can really throw that out there. Let's see. I didn't do the trade right, Casey. I'm not sure what you mean. Okay. Well, we'll have to figure that out. What did I do wrong? We'll just do a sample one. So we have 39, 63, moved up in the 3rd, moved up into the 120 there. Yeah, I think I did what I meant to do. Yeah, I gave away 94 and I got to 73. That was a big upgrade. That was the goal. So let's see. Leatherwood, they're really up there. I mean, Creed is just sitting here, and I think it's between him and Enrique right now. And Enrique, I think, actually can give you some pass rush inside at the 3 tech. He's good against the run. He's not like super explosive, but I think he's more well-rounded clearly than Noddy or Colin Saunders. And if they're not going to bring in a free agent tackle, I think that's something that they have to consider. So that's really my decision right here. But I don't want to see Ryder at center again. So Creed Humphrey is the pick. And seriously, you guys, I encourage you to come through this and do this as many times as you can. Use this site. There's good dudes that work over there. Give them a little support and throw me your results because I'm interested to see what you guys come up with as well. Okay, so the Bucks want to come up 1 pick. I don't think we're really interested in that. And I don't think we want to go back for 78. That is a long ways back. So see what we can counter offer the Bucks. See if we can make up for that Super Bowl and steal from them. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen, so it doesn't really matter. So Dickerson is still on the board. I'm kind of surprised by that, but I have him ranked probably in the 50s is where I'm thinking. Naaman, because he can't move anyone anywhere. He didn't allow any sacks. You're absolutely right. That is a pretty good line. But he didn't help his guards enough, and the guards got destroyed all season. He can't come off the ball every time they need short yardage. They can't do it, mostly because of him. So that's the thought anyway. That's my thought. Certainly, I think that's what most people feel as well. So what do we have here? Dylan Moses, not interested. I don't think he's going to survive at the next level. Amon-Ra is an interesting one. Hudson's a tackle that's interesting as well, right? So what we're seeing here is, at least for this board, where I'm trying to get to is here. Rodgers, Davis, Cox, Tremble. There you go. So I'm happy to get out of 63 and come back in here. Maybe our friends, the Falcons or the Eagles, are willing to do something. Let's see what they think. And let's see. Let's go Eagles. Oh, no. And okay, so we'll go back to 70. No problem. And they only have 84. So do we move back to 84? They'll take that in a heartbeat. And they don't have anything else really to offer. So nah, that kind of is wasted effort right there. So that said, let's do. Falcons seem to be wheeling and dealing. We'll go back to 68. That's fine. I'm going to need your fourth to do it, though. Bruh. I'll give you another fourth. No, they're not willing to do it. It's interesting. Yeah, they would take that. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that. I think they would take both of those offers, to tell you the truth. See what Detroit wants. Move back to 72. That's right in front of our other pick. So we have 73. There's no reason going back to there. Let's make this really hairy. I'm going to want your fourth, and I'll give you my 136th. And I'm going to need that, and I'll give you that. So since we have 73, we can move from 63 back to 78. To 88, I'm sorry. And then we're going to get a 12 for it right next to this other fourth rounder, again in the top 120. And we're going to give them the 136th and that to get to 158. It's not the greatest trade-off, but it'll work for right now. We're getting down to the bottom of our hour, and I want to make sure that we get through it. So, Les Norton, welcome to the memberships. I like it. Thank you for joining. I think you'll dig some of the content. Hopefully we'll keep our language a little bit cleaner than we normally do, but hey, it's not always there. Benjamin, that's a good question. I do see a number of people that have him in the 40s. Does he fall to 63? I don't think so, but it's going to be what it is. Now, I'm not going to entertain picks here because we want to make a selection and we want to look. Oh, we lost. We lost Jamin. I didn't expect that. But good for him. I do think in reality that he might be just behind Jabril at the very end of the second round. I think that may be his legitimate draft spot. And no, Benjamin, I don't think that Creed falls that far either. These scenarios are a little bit off. Like I said, every board is a little bit out there. That said, I don't think that it's something that will preclude them from drafting him as a center wherever they need to maybe find that kind of talent. So I'm not too worried about that. So this comes down to, again, we could go Hudson, I think, is a developmental, but a guy with a lot of upside tackle. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think that's interesting. You saw him take him a week or two ago. It comes down to me in this group now with Jamin over here, Jabril Cox, and Amari Rodgers. Now, Amari, again, is pretty small. He's like Tyreek small, but thick like that. He's not. Oh yeah, 210. Wow, that's even more than I thought it was. But like, I think 5'9" might even be generous. And so like it was 73. I think it's more important to get somebody that can stand in and play this season, maybe start the season after with Willie. So we're gonna go Jabril. Doug nailing it again. And we're gonna come down here. I think we're at 88 next. And we are getting an offer to move back to 92 from Green Bay. Not interested in that. 4 spots for a 7th doesn't really thrill me. And here is Aaron's pick. So we are at 88. We moved up from our original 93 or 94, was it? And we got to this spot where I know folks are coming on about Jackson Carman as a tackle prospect. I like that. Diami Brown is here, but so is Tommy Tremble. And so for you guys that really want to see Travis have a running partner, I think this is important. James can't go Trey Smith only because he is a power gap guy. He doesn't run the zone that well, and quite frankly, he is not athletic. He doesn't. If the Chiefs changed their plan, he would be great. If they want to start running straight downhill, running power, he'd be perfect. The Chiefs run outside zone all the time, so they want a zone type guy, and he just doesn't fit the bill. Doug, yep, you nailed it. I think we're going to make Aaron happen. We're going to take Tremble because I think for the Chiefs, Brett Veach even said it the other day that this is more of a priority than we thought it was a couple of weeks ago. So I think that is important to remember. It's not that he gives things away, but Brett Veach will tell you things that are important from time to time. Now, we just lost somebody. Keith Taylor just went off. We took him last time. Felton is another undersized guy that I really like. He did well at the Senior Bowl. And so that carries a lot of weight. So now we're in an interesting spot here where we've gone defense just with Jabril. And we're sitting St. Just actually had some reps at the Senior Bowl that were pretty good. Frank Darby is in here, but we're getting down here a little bit lower. And so I think the best guy here on the board that's visible right now that I don't have to truly reach for is going to be Trill. So we're going to grab him. And Spicy, I've heard good things about Hufanga. It's a little bit iffy on the range for me. I haven't watched the USC film yet. I will try to do that. But I'm a little concerned because it doesn't seem to quite fit the mold that the Chiefs like. And we're right back at the next pick. So we get to do what we want, you guys. So what were you guys saying was the other one? Hufanga was the other option that you guys liked, or was there somebody else? David Moore. And what do we have left? Let me double check after these trades. It gets hard to keep track of them. Okay, we still have 2 fifths. So there are things to be fried, and I like that. So let's see. Trey Brown is an option like later. I think that might be a reality option. You have Chuba down here. James Wiggins is an interesting case. He's got some serious injuries under his roster, but Shi Smith in the late rounds. I haven't looked at his film specifically. Just a little bit of back and forth. Marvin Wilson, I know, has had some injuries. I'm not sure what they were. I'd have to take a look. Why this season over others? I'm not sure what you mean, Tyler. So hit me back. So right now, best on the board that's going to be a fit is a tough one. St. Juice is a long, tall corner. I want to say that he's 6 foot. He might be over that. Oh, yeah, he's way over that. I was wrong. It's just not quite as fast as I think they want. So I'm gonna pass on that. Trey, there's just not a lot here until we get into the next grouping, and I think the next tier wide receivers is where we want to go. So we're not going to look at Frank Darby. So I think, you know what, if you guys like Hufanga, why not? Let's bring it, take a chance, right? It can't hurt. Back-to-back picks there was weird. I didn't quite realize that that's where we got into. So, oh, Spicy, you do your own board? Okay. We're going to have a guest board show or something like that. So, yes, very good point, Aaron. Thank you very much. If you guys have not followed me for very long, I do a draft board reveal the week before the draft, and you'll have my board as I go through it and where I have everyone ranked. Not specifically for the Chiefs, but it leans that way. Athletes will stand out in different ways. But the draft guide will be out long before that. I'm already working on it. The athletic matrix is how you take all those results and combine them. It's going to be late this year because of all the pro days. We won't have data like we usually do from the combine, so it's going to be a challenge. Thanks for reminding me, though, Aaron. I appreciate that. And everybody here will get a discount code, so you don't have to spend as much on the matrix this year. And that brings us back. We're at 154, and we're going to take a look at our options. Chuba's still on the board. Again, I don't think we want to go there. And we're back with Anthony Schwartz is here. Shaka Toney's an interesting edge prospect that, needs some development. Reminds me, quite frankly, a little bit of Taco, like needs some encouragement, et cetera, et cetera. It looks like we lost out. We did. Looks like we may have lost out on Cade Johnson, who's the wide receiver that this week I'm really high on after watching his Senior Bowl again. So we've got Schwartz as an option. We've got Shy. There you go. Powell, I don't think is a guy that they're going to be interested in. Oh, Cade Johnson is here. Okay, so where are we here? We have about 20 picks. If we decide to go Cade, we could probably wait. I think that's good. Jonathan Cooper's interesting. Newsome or Schwartz. Twyman. Twyman, is he still out there? I did not see that. Twyman is an interesting case. Where did he go? Or am I just late? Oh, yeah, he's there. Let's do that. I think he's a guy that could develop. I'm glad that you pointed that out, Patrick. Twyman is an interesting guy there. And you're talking, fifth round. It's not really a risk. You can afford to take what you want to take. And so that brings us back. The Chiefs' last pick at 176. We're back in here, and Jalen's here, and Cade is here. So you guys give me, we're going to go wide receiver to give Patrick another weapon. I do think that they're going to open things up. They're going to get some extensions and some restructures, and I think they're going to maybe look at free agency here as well. But you guys let me know who you want more. The North Texas, Jaden Darden. We did Terry last time, so we'll do something different this time. Or do you want Cade Johnson? Hit me in the chat right now, and you guys will make the decision. We have a vote for Darden out of Spicy. Kid wants Schwartz. Okay. Who else? See, and this is what I was talking about before. When you're talking about the guys that can go and play your special teams, the receivers, the fast dudes, the corners. That's why in this section, those guys are all going to contribute here. So you can take a little bit more of a chance because you're going to get something out of it. Let's see. Everybody loves their mom. Okay, good. I'm glad you feel that way, Jeremy. Let's see. Johnson. Caden Johnson. Yeah? Really? I would not have guessed that you guys are going to be into that. Tommy Kramer's here too if you want another interior player. Let's see. Anybody else that's really standing out? Drake Jackson's here, another interior offensive lineman that's interesting. Pat Johnson, Puka, Streeter. I like the way you're thinking. Daz, Shy, Mallory. All right. Well, the top guy on the board is Daz, so we'll go Daz, and we will call this a draft. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. I think I like I'm not sure I liked either of them as much as I liked the one I did yesterday. So, okay, we are done. I am just checking on that one. We're letting this thing roll through, and we're all good. So, that said, I think that the way that it's going to shake out here, and I think this board will start to reflect it as well. It is going to be, again, that middle section that's got to be the emphasis. I'm really digging that, and I'm going to flip this. So I'm really digging the fact that I think the Chiefs are in position, and now if they feel that they can get some things done with their restructure and everything, they can spend a little bit of money and kind of come up from the bottom, move back a little bit from the top, and I think they'll be in good shape. And so when we look at what we did, we made a couple of trades. Let me put this back up here. A couple of trades that resulted in Newsome for them, Carmen, Bates, Chris Rumpf, whereas we ended up with Humphrey, Cox, and Hufanga. And then we did another one. Oh, we only did two this time. Tommy Togiai, they took him. And Dalen Hayes, he's another guy that I like. Developmental, but he's that kind of big, not super fast, but strong edge guy from Notre Dame that I think Spags is going to like. And so we ended up in this one with Humphrey, Cox, Tremble, help him out there, Tula Williams, Fanga, and then Jalen Twyman and Daz Newsome. So not a bad haul. I think that we should all be happy with that. I hope that you guys are. Benjamin, thank you for that. Puka, I want to make sure. Yep, you're absolutely right. Smash it. Everyone makes fun of me when I say that. I think a lot of people say it kind of strange. So let's see. Chiefs never get the players you want, Stevie. I'm sorry. And thank you, Doug. It is pretty cool to see how this channel has grown, and that's thanks to you guys spreading the word and everything. So I hope that this was fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Again, this is what we ended up with here at the end. So, hey, we'll do this again next week. Dan and I are going to mix things up some as well. Dan might be on here with me next week. And then we've got a couple of other ideas. So hold tight. Enjoy your week. I think this was fun. I'll let you know. I'll keep putting things on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter yet, go do that as well. It's Ryan Tracy NFL, all one word. And I'll throw some of my thoughts as I'm going through the film. Really taking it up a notch the last couple of days to try to get this film work done. We're going to have a lot of insights for you. So thanks for watching this one tonight. Make sure you like and sub and hit the bell notification. Anybody who's new, leave your comments, or if you're watching this on replay, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought, and we'll go from there. Hope you guys have a great night, and talk to you next time.